Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to go through all of the unread books on my physical TBR. So one of my goals this year, and I know it's almost everyone's goal this year, but I really need to get my physical TBR down because I remember a few years ago, it was so exciting. I would go to a store, I'd buy a book, and I'd read it pretty much immediately. I had read everything on my shelf, most of them 3 or 4 times. And obviously since then, I have expanded. You can't really see, but there are 5 bookshelves behind me and 2 across from me, which is awesome. I love owning that many books, but it almost feels like homework because I'm like, I can't go buy a book. I feel guilty getting things from the library because I have so many books sitting on my shelf. So what I wanted to do is compile an actual list of everything that I own that I have not read. And basically I want to do an end of the year. I probably won't do a direct comparison, but I want to see what that number is and then compare it and basically see if I have succeeded in getting it down. So yeah, I don't know what that number is exactly. I would guess a little above 150. I'll have a count at the end of the video, but yeah, so here we go. Son of the Storm by Sui Davies Okunboa. Malice, Valor, and Ruin by John Gwynne. Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick. Velocity Weapon by Megan E. O'Keefe. Hamilton and Philosophy, Revolutionary Thinking. Egyptian Mythology by Gary J. Shaw. The Poisoner's Handbook by Deborah Bloom. The Science of Marvel by Sebastian Alvarado. Hood Feminism by Miki Kendall. The Crowns of Croswald by D.E. Knight. Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. Crater by Homer Hickman. Girl with a Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson. The Word is Murder by Anthony Horowitz. Defending Jacob by William Landay. The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. The Devouring Grey by Christine Lynn Herman. We've Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. Music the Gathering by J.H. Fleming. The Dwarves by Marcus Heitz. The Bone Chips by R.J. Barker. A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. The Wolf by Leo Carew. The Hidden Palace by Helen Wicker. The Land of Stories by Chris Colfer. Arusha and the End of Time by Rashani Chakshi. The Girl Who Fell Beneath Fairyland and Led the Revels There by Catherine M. Valente. The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. The Witch's Heart by Genevieve Gornichek. Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. Rosewater by Tade Thompson. Last Tycoon by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Lachlan's by Robert Jackson Bennett. The Lost Metal by Brandon Sanderson. The Emperor's Blades by Brian Staveley. The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. Peace and Turmoil by Elliot Brooks. The River of Silver, S.A. Chakraborty. Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee. The Fires of Vengeance by Evan Winter. The Autumn Republic by Brian McClellan. Gone to Darkness by Barbara Nicholas. Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. Nona the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. Jade Fire Gold by June C.L. Tan. The Bone Spindle by Leslie Vedder. Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. Midnight Library by Matt Haig. The Fortress of Glass by David Drake. In the Ruins by Kate Elliott. The Barbed Coil by J.V. Jones. Imager's Intrigue by L.E. Modisette Jr. The Wolf of the North by Duncan M. Hamilton. The Spy Game by Georgina Harding. Gallant by V.E. Schwab. The War of Two Queens, A Shadow in the Ember, and A Light in the Flame by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Ashes of Gold by J.L. Bloodmarked by Tracy Dion. The Justice of Kings by Richard Swan. The Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson. The Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson. Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young. Babel by R.F. Kuang. Poster Girl by Veronica Roth. Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Boulley. The Atlas Six and the Atlas Paradox by Olive E. Blake. To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. Children of Blood and Bone and Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi. The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. Abaddon's Gate, Sabola Burns, Nemesis Games, and Tiamat's War by James S.A. Corey. New Spring the Novel by Robert Jordan. Soulless by Gail Carriger. A Dangerous Collaboration, A Murderous Relation, and an Unexpected Peril by Deanna Rayborn. The Obelisk Gate and the Stone Sky by N.K. Jemisin. The Queer Principles of Kit Webb by Kat Sebastian. What You Gonna Do by Avery Flynn. Bad Girl Reputation by Elle Kennedy. Really Beloved by Susie Dumond. Blackmail and Babinga by Mia M. Monasala. Mortal Word by Genevieve Cogman. The Cartographers by Penn Shepard. Like a Sister by Kelly Garrett. Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. Dating Dr. Dill by Nisha Sharma. The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. Things We Do in the Dark by Jennifer Hillier. Peach Blossom Spring by Melissa Fu. Darling Girl by Liz Michalski. Siren Queen by Ni Vo. An Alchemy of Masks and Mirrors and a Labyrinth of Scions and Sorcery by Curtis Craddock. Ledge by Stacey McEwen. The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clark. Elf Sorrow by James Barclay. A Big Ship at the Edge of the Universe by Alex White. Master of Poisons by Andrea Hairston. The Midnight Queen by Sylvia Izzo Hunter. The Blood of Elves by Andrei Sapkowski. Leviathan by Scott Westerfield. A Demon in Silver by R.S. Ford. The Sword of Kaigan by M.L. Wong. Sorceress of Faith by Robin D. Owens. Descent of Shadows by Ryan Glenn. Swords and Scoundrels by Julia Knight. Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. Foundling by D.M. Cornish. In the Hall of the Dragon King by Stephen R. Lawhead. The Bitter Twins by Jen Williams. Magic Hunter by C.N. Crawford. Binti by Nettie Okorafor. Sand by Hugh Howey. Library of the Unwritten by A.J. Hackwith. The Grimrose Girls by Laura Pohl. Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. Certain Dark Things by Silvia Moreno Garcia. Marvelous Light by Freya Marsk. This Coven Won't Break by Isabel Sterling. World's End, Darkest Hour, and Always Forever by Mark Chadbourne. Hunting Prince Dracula by Carrie Manasalco. Black Leopard, Red Wolf by Marlon James. Rebel Fae by Barb and J.C. Hendy. Opening Atlantis by Harry Turtledove. City of the Oncalman Thief by Lynn Bertrand. The Second Death of Eddie and Violet Bond by Amanda Glaze. Belladonna by Adalyn Grace. Homecoming Harmony by Orson Scott Card. The Deep by Alma Katsu. The Paris Labyrinth by Giles Lagardinier. Vinya by Ursula K. Le Guin. Ship of Theseus by J.J. Abrams and Doug Dorst. City of Dusk by Tara Sim. Upon a Burning Throne and a Dark Queen Rises by Ashok K. Banker. Dawn of Wonder by Jonathan Renshaw. Prince of Thorns, King of Thorns, and Emperor of Thorns by Mark Lawrence. Murder with Mirrors and By the Pricking of My Thumbs by Agatha Christie. Elvenbane by Andre Norton and Mercedes Lackey. The Messenger by Douglas Niles. Mortal by V.K. Forrest. Empire Ascendant by Cameron Hurley. The Ancient One by T.A. Barron. Dragon Quartet Volume 1 and the Dragon Quartet Volume 2 by Marjorie B. Kellogg. In the Eye of Heaven by David Keck. Dragon's Dawn by Anne McCaffrey. The Siege of Arandon by Marcus Herniman. Priestess of the White by Trudy Canavan. The Blood Knight by Greg Keyes. The Merlin Effect by T.A. Barron. Song and Silence by Elizabeth Kerner. The Thief's Gamble by Juliet E. McKenna. Farlander by Cole Buchanan. The Forever King by Molly Cochran and Warren Murphy. Convergence by Sharon Green. The Morpheus Factor by Ashley McConnell. Song of the Dragon by Tracy Hickman. Lord of the Isles, Queen of Demons, Servant Dragon, and Mistress of the Catacombs by David Drake. The Return of the King by J.R.R. Tolkien. I, Robot by Isaac Asimov.